Okay, so Jacqui has some actually quite interesting. She has a couple of really interesting moves. In fact, I'll make sure I've done them all because she's only got a couple of moves that we haven't seen. Here we go. She only has a few moves we haven't seen, but Jacqui is going to be another one of those characters where it's less about these moves by themselves. It's where they're going to fit into the rest of her kit. So instead of the shrapnel blast, you get a rocket launcher. So this is like very full auto Jacqui from like MKX, where you can amplify to shoot a straight one if you want. This does decent damage for projectile. As you can see as well, it's basically a launcher. Like if this hits in the corner, like you are going to get to pick up from it. So you can get whatever you want. I'm just going to do another rocket because why not? I don't really know what you'll be doing. Have I got clinch in this? Clinch is... What is clinch? God, I haven't even labbed first round in so long. I've got... Okay, it's down forward 3, the one thing I didn't try. Yeah, so you're going to be able to like do whatever you want off of it in the corner. But that's obviously not going to be the main use for it. It gives you meterless corner extensions, which is really nice. It's just to kind of have that traditional straight shot projectile isn't bad. You obviously have the rocket in the air as well, so you get this too, which is cool for the same hit reaction. You'll notice that all the rockets basically have the same hit reaction. So, you know, these are going to be good for corner combos as well. I would show you them, but I don't know them. But there are players like Deoxys has already been using this a lot as well. So there are people out there that can showcase really what this move can do, which is really cool. You can delay this as well. I think Rewind played this in a set against Scar as well. So there's definitely footage out there. So these are going to be like a go-to kind of standard projectile, but with a lot of combo potential on the back of them as well. So rockets, very cool. What else? Let's make him not jump anymore. And then you have Jacqui's, believe it or not, second armor break that she has in the Hyper Knee. So, Hyper Knee is a mid special that, if I make him block, make him auto block. It is minus 17, but you can amp it to turn it into the Dash Punch Ender, which is currently minus 1. However, if you're playing as player 2, and Jacqui does it, you can do this. Right, watch this. You can let go block, because it is a high and it doesn't jail, so you can, if you know it's going to be amped, duck it and punish, but that's going to be the mind game. We have seen that Dash Punch is going to be unsafe in Ultimate, as what they showed in the combat cast, so I don't know if that's just going to become unsafe no matter what. For all we know, it probably will be, but who knows. But the big thing about Hyper Knee is, it is an armor break, so if Sub-Zero breakaways... Whoops. There you go, it's going to armor break. It does have a crushing blow as well. So if armor breaks, it will KB. But this move's normal crushing blow requirement is very good. It is if a combo of 8 hits or more, or breaks armor, obviously. But getting a combo of 8 hits or more with Jacqui is very much not difficult. And what this means for her is, we've all seen like the very default Jacqui combos of like, let me try this. Do I have, there we go. Right, hang on. What do I do? Is it this? Right, let's make him not breakaway. I'm just going to try the most bog standard Jacqui combo that we've all seen 100 times, right? Right, hang on. Let's go for this. Do I have to dash forward? I'm figuring this out on the fly. Now, there's something into like back to this, right? Can anyone help? What is the, is it 3-4? Is it 3-4? Or is it 4-3? Wait, 4-4. 3-1? You mean this? Do dash 1-2, double forward 2. No, but no, like for the dash punch. For the dash punch KB ender. Because what I'm basically trying to show is if you get a launch of any kind, you're gonna be able to do something like that, right? So that's using the knee to end. But if you do something like, yeah, so if you know the kind of combo I'm trying to show, right? If you get this kind of situation to back 2 dash punch, There are a lot of combos that will do just the dash punch ender to cash out. You see it a lot with upgraded. There we go. Let's try that. That looks more like it. There you go. Right there. So, dash punch ender to KB to cash out. And with Hyper Knee, you get a second go with Hyper Knee. So you basically get 2 KB enders that you can use at will, right? And we've all seen how important it is to be able to get those. And I'm pretty sure that even if you get the KB, you can still amplify at the end of it. So if I was to do like, let's do this. Let's try this one. Let's do this. I'm just gonna do the simple one just to show. Yeah, this is a weird muscle memory, but right. And then can I amplify? Okay, you can. So if you want, you can amplify after like Jade kick KB style to get that little bit of extra chunk. So it's basically going to give her another crushing blow that she can cash out into, decent damage, combo ender, unbreakable. You know, if you're running air shrapnel, you will be able to get 8 hits before they've left the ground. So you can get true unbreakable damage with that if you want, which is going to be really good. And the rockets for more traditional projectiles. Again, Jacqui's going to have a billion custom opportunities. You know, upgraded will still be a good 3. Again, we don't know what's happening to Jacqui. We don't know if she's going to get heavily nerfed to upgraded specifically. If she's going to keep getting nerfed, we don't know. But as it stands, Jacqui has a lot of custom possibilities, and these moves will definitely be thrown into the mix in a cool way. Now, Sub-Zero. There isn't as much to say about Sub-Zero because I've actually already shown this variation before, and I made a video talking about what could be one of the most kind of broken combinations in the game, which is Ground Ice and Rising Ice. This is the custom sub that whenever I play custom sub, I always play Rising Ice. Ground Ice on top just seems to really make this variation absurd. But we'll talk about the 2 moves separately. We've all seen Ground Ice by now. You know, we know what this move does, but for those of you that don't, it is a special move that I'll quickly show them here. Ground Ice is a special that is unblockable, and it's very active. So if I throw this down on the floor, my opponent gets hit. They enter a state that they can block, right? So on hit, they can block. But as I'm Sub-Zero, that could be plus frames, that can be overhead, that can be, you know, low. But what they can't do in this state is be thrown. They cannot be thrown while in that state. So you're basically looking at a guaranteed button. You can turn it into like a jump in if you want to, you know, I'm going to do jump 1 probably. Yeah, you could do like jump 1 to then instantly put them into a thrown state, but obviously that could be flawless blocked. They can do something about that for sure. And you can amplify it to make it go full screen as a low. So it becomes blockable if you amplify it, but it becomes a low and it goes full screen, but it's blockable. The main, as far as I'm concerned, the main application for this move is going to be its meterless, just 70 damage. And that's it. But the crazy thing about the ground puddle is how active it is. I want to show you something. I'm gonna make Jacqui do all wake up options. So get up mode. She's gonna do wake up forward roll. So wake up forward roll loses because a roll moves or wake up rolls lose to unblockable attacks. And as this is an unblockable attack, it will beat the forward roll. Let's make a back roll. Beats it. We'll make her do delayed get up. So long get up. Beats long get up. She can't block it, so it's unblockable. Make her wake up jump forward without the delayed get up. So she's going to wake up jump forward. Loses. Wake up buttons loses. Wake up 2. Loses. Wake up 3. And here is where we finally see the answer. So wake up 3 avoids the puddle and eliminates it. However, it doesn't punish me, and I can't whiff punish you. It basically just nullifies the situation. So you can end any combo in this. So you can do like this, and there you go. Your opponent has to deal with it. It beats every wake-up option except up 3. So if your opponent doesn't want to get frozen, and again, if they get frozen, and we'll make her do up 2 just to demonstrate. If you do this, and they get frozen, they have to block overhead, low. You can turn it into an auto shimmy. You can turn it into a jump one into like the throw game if you want. You can turn it into a big boot for plus frames. You obviously have a lot of options. You can flawless block out of it, but you know, you have so much time to choose what you're doing. It's going to be hard to do that consistently, but it's a possibility. And again, because it's going to hit most of the time unless they wake up, if it does hit, you are adding an unscaled 70 damage to any hit. So this looks like 9%. It's really going to do more because you're adding 70 damage. I don't know if this move is going to stay this way. I really don't think it is. I think by itself, it might not sound too bad because, again, universally, sub is quite low damage, and it can be avoided with up threes. If you do it in the corner, sub actually gets hit by the up three, so, you know, it's not going to work everywhere. But at the very least, the point remains, every time you touch them, the opponent has to spend half of their bar, or they are taking a guaranteed restand with a decent chunk of damage and a guaranteed button that they have to deal with, right? There's no disrespecting the plus frames. Like, you get hit by the ice, you're dealing with a mix-up of some description, whether it's a button auto shimmy into a throw, whether it's a straight up overhead low. At least you can't be thrown in the ground ice state, but you know, it's a situation you have to deal with. The real problem that ground ice is going to have is if it gets paired with the following move. Let me show you. Rising Ice. This is a one slot launcher that if you spend bar will launch the opponent and you can combo from it. This gives you combos, so you know, you can do whatever you want. You could do really cool stuff. It adds damage, right? This gives you more damaging B&Bs than normal. So like a normal Sub-Zero B&B, I'm going to try this. Like this is a normal 1 bar B&B for 284 versus if you do Rising Ice, you're looking at 314. So you're breaking the 30% barrier for most characters. You're doing a bit more damage. It does combo off the overhead. So if you've done this, you do get, you know, cool combos if you want them. So it's a launching option off the overhead. So normally if you want to combo off the overhead properly, you have to spend 2 bars on deep freeze. Don't have to do that with this variation because you can just spend 1 bar on the Rising Ice. It is death on block, so if it is blocked you will die, but that's the mix up, right? If you want a big reward for the overhead, you do this and that's it. The problem is if you end in this, which you absolutely can do in this custom variation. But, you know, before we get into that, another benefit of Rising Ice is going to be using it for extra damage in the corner. We've all seen Sub-Zero players do this, right? We've seen slide in the corner into, like, whatever. It is a bit harder on small characters like Jacqui, so, you know, bear with me. But, you know, we've all seen combos from the slide in the corner. These are much easier versus big characters. It's a lot. In fact, just for the sake of this, I'm going to demonstrate against a male character just so I'm not dropping it all the time. Because it's a lot easier against male characters. So we'll do Scorpion. Right, now we can showcase this properly. In the corner, there you go. You're looking at a tremendous amount of damage off of your hits. So you confirm into ice. You're looking at 1 bar. You're looking at like 1 bar, 370 damage. You can end in KB if you want. If you confirm like the overhead, you can do like this. Something like that. For close to 50%, 124 ender off the overhead. You can do it off the low. Off the low raw, it is over 50%. You can do it off of a freeze. So 440. You are basically adding an absolute ton of damage in the corner with Rising Ice. Because Rising Ice can be amped twice. That's the craziest thing about it. You can amp it twice to really give you these big damage pickups. And that is just Rising Ice by itself. That's not taking any other move into equation. But Rising Ice is personally my favorite Sub-Zero move. Like, I couldn't really give a crap what happens to Ground Ice. Like, this is the move that when I play Sub-Zero, this is the move I use. This is the one that I have the most fun with. I think it has a lot of synergy with the rest of his kit. It lets you be risky if you want for a big reward, and it gives you big corner damage. I like that a lot. The problem is when you've got this together, right? When you've got this and Ground Ice, but that's where, you know, we don't know if it'll even be allowed. We don't know if Ground Ice is going to stay the same. We don't know if you're still going to be able to amplify Rising Ice twice, but it does give you a tremendous amount of options. Because if Ground Ice stays the same way it is now, you are going to get basically a true Vortex off of Ground Ice. Because Ground Ice will hit, you'll be able to turn it into Overhead, this. You can turn it into low, into this. You see what I mean? Like, and you can do actual optimal combos and end them. I'm not going to do the extended sequences because you will know what happens, but that's the point. With this specific variation, you can basically get a Vortex off Ground Ice and Rising Ice. It's really dangerous. But we don't know if it's going to stay the same way. You know, both moves by themselves, crazy, but, you know, nothing that we haven't seen from other characters, really. Together, a nightmare. And if they work together as the way they are right now, I think this variation could be incredibly powerful, for sure. But that's it for these two.